So I finally got a chance to harvest some black beans here. We're going to go ahead and save the seeds for next year since the plants didn't really do too well. They were a little bit neglected this summer, but we should have plenty of seeds for next year. So I'm going to start popping all of my seeds out here. Just pop the end out. There's a brand new bean right there. Perfect little seed. So I'm just gonna start. Actually, first we need to pull out all of the ones that we're gonna let dry a little more. All of these green ones for sure. And this first one I picked up was a little wet from sitting on the ground. His beans probably aren't good, but the rest of them miraculously are dried up. Something like this might not be good anymore, but I've opened a lot of these with kind of mold starting on its little pods, and look, the beans are perfect inside. So I'll go ahead and get through these and see how many we end up with. Just wanted to show you how these pop open. You just kind of crack them with your hand. Squeeze it a little bit. It'll split right at the seam. And your seeds, beans, just pop right out. I'm gonna save all these for the compost. So we'll throw them in our bucket here. And just keep going. So far, so good. Even some of the uglier pods. Oh, that's the first one I opened that wasn't good. It's got a little mold on that one too. So all of those are bad. We're definitely getting a lot of good stuff here. This one's soft. It's got a bean stuck to him here. Other one's soft, so we'll let that dry. This one's still a little soft. Split open perfectly. Gotta knock them free sometimes. They don't just fall right out every time. Well, this is super exciting. I'm so glad that I didn't ruin all of the beans. I mean, technically I did. I wasn't sure when to harvest them. I was supposed to research it, and we just got so busy with the build, got so far behind getting our walls up for hurricane season. Other things kind of took priority, so at least we can save the seeds. Oh, I lost one. In there. There we go. So I'm going to keep going through here. Oh, it's not coming apart very easily with one hand. And that one's soft. Keep going through here, and I'll show you exactly how many we end up with at the end. They had several pods that were underdeveloped like this, and you would think that it would have like 5 underdeveloped seeds inside. But what I'm finding, we can even open this one, is it has actually a full bean. This was actually a green bean. Looks like another little rotted baby. Well, it's actually not rotten. Looking at it up close, it is just underdeveloped. But these little underdeveloped pods, you would think, wouldn't have a full bean in there, but they actually do. Full-size seed. There's just one, but they are there. I thought for sure those little baby pods were not going to have anything usable. This one had 2. So that's another bonus. Look at that little guy. And a perfectly good seed. This was actually an entire pod. This little sad, droopy guy. And I popped it open and look what's inside. A brand new, full-sized green bean. So yeah, the pods were really surprising actually. Down to our last few here. Again, these are all little preemie pods. They're not at all fully developed. And their seeds are still perfect. There's just fewer. So that one only had 2 in it. This one feels like it has 2. It's real wrinkled up. Might need 2 hands for this one. And here's what's inside. Perfect little green bean. Two of them. Full-sized. Perfectly healthy. This feels like it's got 2 also. 1. And 2. Another underdeveloped one. Oh, this one little black bean came out. They're really stuck in there. Oh, it was a green bean actually. Green bean, green bean. And this is probably another green bean. So out of that one little preemie pod, we still got a full, perfect seed. So that's the best news about the beans that I can give you from this summer. Because it was terrible, terrible season, and it was all my fault. I didn't have any of the right nutrition, soil, watering. They definitely got neglected. As soon as they started looking sad, I kind of gave up on them. I really wasn't sure when to harvest them. I assumed that when they got like this that they were bad, so I was pulling them off and throwing them in the compost. But actually this was the prime time to harvest, right before they started getting these mold spots. You really just let them dry up, get crispy on the plant, and just pop the beans right out. So these you would soak and deshell by rubbing your hand. Get that outer layer off, but we're not going to use them for cooking. We're going to save them for next year in the garden. Look at all that pretty purple color in there. So yay for black beans. Again, any of the soft pods or any that are still green, this was a plant that I accidentally trimmed the wrong section. They were supposed to dry on the plant, so we'll just let them all dry out here. Pop them open as soon as we can. And we definitely ended up with more than 20 beans. For sure, we've got hundreds. So next year, we'll do several rows with proper bean poles and proper nutrition. And we will have a ton of beans for next winter.